Faith Ringgold is an artist and activist. Her works include paintings and narrative quilts, which she is best known for, as well as children's books. Ringgold grew up in Harlem, New York, during the Harlem Renaissance and the Great Depression. She was greatly influenced by Harlem Renaissance artist Aaron Douglas and was also inspired by civil rights activists of that time, such as W.E.B. Du Bois and Thurgood Marshall. The inspiration from these civil rights leaders would later guide her to become politically active within the civil rights movement of the 1960s and even incorporate the message for racial equality into her artworks. The first artwork by Ringgold that I will discuss is from her painting series called The American People. This specific piece is titled Die and was created in the year 1967. The American People series was created during the 1960s, which was a pivotal time for the civil rights movement in America. The paintings in the series capture the racial tension and discrimination of that era for herself and other African Americans. The main motivating factor for Ringgold creating the painting Die were the New York race riots of 1964 that began in Harlem, which is Ringgold's hometown. The series documented Ringgold's perspective of what was happening in America around her at the time. To begin with, the expressions of fear on the people in the painting represent what Ringgold and others felt during the time with the tension and outbreak of the riots during that era. The artist chose business attire clothing for the people in the painting because it depicts how everyone was struggling to fight for their position and status in society, since people in American society were and still are judged and viewed by others largely due to their social class. The children in the middle of the painting holding onto each other while expressing fear of the violence around them symbolizes the artist's concern and fear for the younger generation having to grow up in a segregated and violent society, as well as the artist's fear that challenges for racial equality will continue in the future. The background is supposed to be a sidewalk and depicts where race riots would occur, which would be within cities. Even though the painting documents what was happening in America during the 1960s, the message of racial inequality and class is still very much relevant in today's society because there are still issues that we have to improve on. Another piece that I will discuss by Ringgold is her story quilt titled Tar Beach 2. Ringgold was inspired to start making story quilts from her mom and grandmother, who would make quilts for their family. Tar Beach 2 is based off her children's book called Tar Beach. This story is centered around a young girl's life in Harlem during the 1940s. The protagonist of this story can be seen laying down on the rooftop, as well as flying in the sky over the bridge. The rooftop depicts a sense of escapism from the challenges and stresses of everyday life as a place to relax, like a retreat. Ringgold also incorporates some elements of her childhood into the story. The artist's inspiration for the story was also to create a story with a strong feminist message, since an important part of her life as an activist are women's rights. The little girl flying above the bridge is a positive metaphor for the little girl's liberation, as it shows her in control of something and doing something so liberating as flying. This is meant to inspire women and girls to fly or take control of their lives. Overall, Ringgold's life as an artist, women's rights activist, civil rights activist, and art educator has an impactful legacy. Her ability to document American life through her art, as well as create a story through quilts, is powerful on its own. Along with her moving artworks, she has been successful in empowering women artists of color by holding exhibits featuring their artworks. This includes the Coast to Coast Women Artists of Color exhibition. Along with this, her organizations and projects such as Anyone Can Fly have created programs within communities that promote art education and expression.